Today, he's one of the world's biggest stars, but nobody here knows how close he once came to giving up. Is it true you used to work as a security guard before all of this? Yes, and I still remember wearing that uniform every single day. 5 years earlier, nobody knew his name. He was just another man trying to survive. He didn't arrive in America chasing fame. He came looking for something much simpler, a job. His savings were disappearing fast. Rejections kept coming, and every day felt harder than the last. But sometimes, a life-changing opportunity appears when you least expect it. Who is that guy? There's something interesting about him. 5 years earlier. With one suitcase, one backpack, and a dream, he left Spain hoping for a better future. The bright lights of Los Angeles looked magical. What he didn't see were the struggles ahead. This tiny room became his entire world while he searched for work. Every call home sounded positive, even though life was becoming increasingly difficult. Then one day, he opened his wallet and realized he was running out of time. Morning after morning, he walked the city, searching for anyone willing to hire him. The restaurant manager barely looked at his application before rejecting him. The warehouse interview ended the same way. Another disappointment, another setback. Sitting alone at the bus stop, he began questioning whether he had made the right decision. Then, just when hope was fading, something caught his attention across the street. The job wasn't glamorous, but to him, it was a lifeline. He immediately accepted the opportunity. When the manager handed him the uniform, he felt something he hadn't felt in weeks: relief. Standing in front of the mirror, he wore the uniform with pride and gratitude. Most nights were quiet, long hours, little excitement, and plenty of time to think. He treated every visitor kindly, believing everyone deserved respect. Whether it was executives or cleaners, he greeted everyone with the same smile. Slowly, his coworkers became friends, making life feel a little less lonely. Each conversation helped him improve his English and build confidence. Even after exhausting shifts, he continued practicing late into the night. His life remained simple, but he was slowly building a future. Movies fascinated him, not because he wanted fame, but because he loved storytelling. Almost every day, he watched actors walk into the studio. He often wondered what it felt like to live that kind of life. You know, one day, that might be you. He laughed immediately. To him, that idea sounded ridiculous. Helping people came naturally. He never expected anything in return. At the same time, destiny was quietly moving closer. Rain, cold nights, and long shifts never changed his attitude. He always did more than what was required, even when nobody noticed. He never knew. Someone was quietly observing his attitude. Then came an ordinary workday that would change everything. Inside the studio, a production was falling apart. An actor hadn't arrived and the crew was running out of options. As panic spread, the assistant director searched desperately for help. Then, she noticed a security guard on duty. "Hey, can you help us with one quick scene?" The request caught him completely by surprise. He froze for a moment, unsure if they were serious. Before he could fully understand, the crew rushed him into wardrobe. Minutes later, he found himself standing under professional studio lights. The bright lights felt completely different from his security post. Just walk naturally and react. Don't overthink it. The cameras began rolling, and he simply acted like himself. His reaction felt effortless, honest, and completely natural. When they filmed another take, it somehow looked even better. The director stared at the monitor without saying a word. There was something genuine about him that immediately stood out. Unlike trained actors, nothing about his performance felt forced. Whispering to the assistant, "He's natural. You can't teach that kind of presence." The filming ended, but something much bigger had just begun. He changed back into his security uniform and continued with his work. Then the director walked directly toward him. The director asked him, "Have you ever acted before?" He laughed nervously. "No, sir, never once." Director smiled and says, "Then maybe you should audition." The business card felt heavier than it should have. In that moment, a completely new future appeared before him. That day, he stared at the card over and over again. What if this was real? What if this was his chance? Unsure what to do, he called his mother in Spain and told her everything. She listened quietly, then gave simple advice. "You'll never know unless you try. Go, son." So every day, he practiced acting in front of the mirror. He studied videos, interviews, and acting lessons whenever possible. Again and again, he trained until confidence slowly appeared. Even his coworkers supported him and encouraged him to keep going. Then, audition day finally arrived. This could be the beginning of everything, or the end of a dream. The waiting room immediately shook his confidence. It was filled with experienced professional actors. For a moment, he felt completely out of place. He looked at the empty floor and questioned whether he belonged there. After a long wait, he heard someone call his name. There was no turning back now. At first glance, the casting directors didn't seem impressed. He started nervously, trying not to make mistakes. But as he continued, something unexpected happened. The emotions became real, powerful, and impossible to ignore. Suddenly, the room fell silent. One by one, the judges slowly looked up. Everyone smiled. He already knew what they were seeing. He walked out, unsure if he'd done enough. Then later that night, his phone finally rang. He got the role. For the first time in life, this is his greatest achievement. He couldn't even believe what he was hearing. The next chapter of his life had officially begun. He started with small roles, learning everything he could. Every set became a classroom, and every actor became a teacher. But success wasn't immediate. Bigger auditions often ended in rejection. Still, he refused to quit. Every setback only pushed him harder for a bigger role. Then came the audition that changed everything. Soon after, a major movie contract was placed in his hands. Months later, giant movie posters carrying his face appeared across the city. Fans cheered his name as cameras flashed from every direction. But despite the fame, he never forgot where he came from. He returned to his old workplace, greeting every security guard with respect and gratitude. Success didn't begin when Hollywood discovered him. It began the day he showed up, worked hard, and stayed humble. Sometimes one unexpected opportunity is all it takes to change a life forever. Please subscribe for more videos.